The best kept secret of the avian world is the Pionus Parrot. It has fewer negative attributes than its popular companion parrot variants, while retaining all of the positive qualities, especially in terms of their level of vocalization.
Hey.
Pionus parrots used to be known as red-vented parrots due to the red feathers underneath their tail, aka their vent. They generally measure between 10 and 12 inches, with a nearly identical shape to Amazon parrots. They even have the same square-shaped, short tail. They also have fleshy, bare eye rings completely encircling their eyes. But that is where the physical similarities end. In most other physical characteristics, the Pionus parrots are quite different than their brethren. Many are even surprised that biologists group these birds into the same species as parrots from the Amazon. One of the biggest differences between a Pionus parrot and others is its somewhat subdued coloration. They are certainly not as flashy or colorful as their counterparts, which makes them not as popular. They're also rarer, and they are certainly less prone to talking. The differences between the Pionus and other parrots are notable, especially when compared against particular species. They are quieter than the African gray parrots.
Are you famous?
And smaller than their similar-looking yet more feisty South American cousins, the Amazonian parrot. It isn't even as flashy or vivid in coloration as most conures, though it is comparable in size. With all of that said, it may seem rather odd that the Pionus is a common fascination between various bird lovers. While not the most popular bird, it certainly is a special one. People aware of the Pionus will speak on their behalf and rave about them. But the problem is that most don't know many others who share their interests unless they meet them on the internet. Let's learn a bit more about the attributes, background, acquiring, and caring for this very special creature. Ready to meet the Pionus Parrot? Before we soar in, hit like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, peep the description box for some hidden gems. Let's fly. Natural habitat. 8 species of the Pionus parrot have been identified to date. All of them are found residing across Central and South America, generally in mountainous or forested regions, as well as in savannas. Personality and behavior. The Pionus parrot is a mid-sized bird that is generally known for being easygoing, quiet, and somewhat standoffish, by comparison to other parrot species that people tend to keep as pets. They are certainly quieter than talkative Amazonian macaws and conures. They are much more easygoing than African greys and lovebirds. Perhaps a reason people love cockatoos is that they're social, an attribute that does not readily apply to the Pionus. Those who own and live with Pionus parrots are quick to share that while not completely love muffins, the Pionus are quite affectionate, attentive, and sweet birds. They will also say that they aren't as silent as it may be perceived, though they are quieter than others. In a house full of other more vocal birds, the Pionus may get less attention. This is a shame because the Pionus actually enjoys spending time with the people they are familiar with. The Pionus is also not a one-person bird, making them a quality family avian. But their relationship with people varies depending on the bird and the person. It isn't advised, however, that children interact or play with the bird while unsupervised. Pionus parrots can bite, though their bites aren't as formidable as the cockatoo or the Amazonian parrot. They are most prone to biting when they're frightened. Typically, the typical behavior in those situations is to be completely still, try to flee, or bite the source of their unnerved state. Some of the other defensive tactics performed by the Pionus parrot include hissing out short breath bursts, seeming like the bird is having trouble catching its breath, a behavior similar to cockatiels. Some owners have reported a musky, sweet odor emitted by the Pionus in those situations too. When properly cared for, a Pionus can live for as long as 25 to 40 years, so they are certainly a long-term pet, save any unexpected incidents or illnesses. This is quite different than most other parrot varieties that don't live quite as long. If you decide to become one's owner, know that you are getting into it for the long haul. diet, care, health, and common conditions. The main diet, such as one of Nutriberry's Lefever's premium daily pellets and an assortment of fresh vegetables and fruits, is perfect for a Pionus parrot. They tend to be good eaters, so if they're not consuming their usual meals, keep an eye on their overall health. They're prone to aspergillosis, visceral gout, and fungal infections. Their diets need to include a lot of vitamin A, as they are also susceptible to a deficiency in that regard. To make sure that you are meeting all of your Pionus parrot's avian dietary needs, consult with your veterinarian who is experienced with birds. Sound and speech. The Pionus parrot isn't the best parrot for talking, but certain individual birds develop a substantial vocabulary. Their speaking isn't armed with as much clarity as some other parrots, often sounding more on the raspy side. But what the bird says is usually quite discernible. As noted, they are quieter than many other birds, making them a perfect pet for a home that loves the presence of birds but appreciates times of quiet. This is specifically appealing to apartment dwellers. However, the bird does seem to correlate with the volume of the home, with louder homes having louder birds, a feature not exclusive to Pionus, but common to most parrots. If a house with a Pionus has barking dogs, loud TVs, and screaming kids, the generally docile Pionus is likely to pick up its volume as well. Becoming a Pionus parrot owner. Out of the 8 Pionus species, 5 are commonly available in pet stores and through breeders. Each has its own set of subspecies, but most of those variations are not typically found in the United States. The Pionus family is made up blue-headed Pionus, Pionus menstruus, bronze-winged Pionus, Pionus chalcopterus, white-headed Pionus, Pionus sinuloidus, white-capped Pionus, Pionus senilus, dusky Pionus, Pionus fuscus, scaly-headed or Maximilian's Pionus, Pionus maximiliani, red-billed or coral-billed Pionus, Pionus sordidus, plum-crowned Pionus, Pionus tumultuosus. The most commonly kept is the blue-headed Pionus, generally because their shocking blue head on top of their bright green body is quite visually appealing. While juveniles are mostly green, after several rounds of molting, they mature in feathering out. The next most popular is Maximilian's Pionus, which is duller in color than its blue-headed cousin, but is the largest of all the Pionus parrots at about 12 inches in length. Next in the popularity ranking is the white-capped Pionus, followed by the dusky and bronze-winged varieties. The latter two are not easy to find in the pet trade, but as breeders are becoming more aware of the demand, more are becoming available.